Let us see. Let us see. Let it go. Oh, let it go. Oh, guys, this is the one I didn't want to do. This is it. This is the one I did not want to do. I have been trying to avoid this beautiful subject for about 2 days now. And the reason for that is because we're going to be talking about a new up-and-coming bill for Virginia. That is where I live. That is my home state. That is, at least currently, a lot of stuff is going to be reconsidered after, this year. So as you guys may know, we elected an entirely Democratic administration. Governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, all super, super horrible people, in my opinion, led by Spamberger. So that's the only person we're really going to be talking about other than the dude that threatened to kill his opponent. Pretty cool. With a gun, by the way. This is all about guns. This whole thing is going to be about guns. So HB 217 was introduced on the 7th of January. Today's the 10th. That is 3 days ago. The administration has yet to be sworn in, yet we are starting to get an accruement of very concerning bills introduced, and the House isn't even in session. So House Bill number 217. What is this, guys? What is this? This is your generic-ish assault weapons ban. And I use the word assault weapons very loosely because they do as well. So what we're going to do is kind of go through item the HB 217 for 2026 session. Now this is up for a vote soon. And then if enacted, it is going to go into effect July 2026. So what does that mean for Virginia? That means get your shit as soon as possible because it's probably going to be very quickly voted into session. All right, so this is HB 217. There's another one called HB 207, which deals with suppressors and a $500 tax. So they threw out tax stamp. It's now no longer 200. Spamberger and her cronies want to charge you $500, which will then go into the general fund. Now, what does that mean? Whatever the fuck they want it to mean. That's what it means. It goes into their pockets. You know, like Youngkin is going to leave office with a surplus of money. Unfortunately speaking, the Democrats are going to come in and spend every bit of it like they do. And we're going to get a Republican next election and then a Democrat next election because that's just how stupid people are in Virginia. They tend to do that instead of voting straight up Republican and continuing with budgeting and allowing for us to have a surplus of money. Regardless, let's talk about HB 217. Now, HB 217 starts off with, it is a bill aimed to strip us of our Second Amendment rights. That's all it's saying in the beginning. Now, the highlighted part here is something interesting because this is something that goes against everything that I believe in. And the reason for that is because it defies logic. All right? So they want to put a bill into session to constrict you from utilizing what we're going to describe. But in C, subsection C here, they want to specifically state that the provisions of this section shall not apply to any government official, agent, employee, or member of the armed forces of the United States to the extent that such person, blah, blah, blah. Basically what this says is, hey, we know what we're doing is stripping you of your constitutional rights, so we're not going to do this to the military. We're not going to do this to law enforcement. We're not going to do this to the Secret Service that protects us. But we're going to do that to the citizens of the United States or the citizens of Virginia. So that's what's in here. All right. Questions about possibly what about outside agencies coming into Virginia? Like if somebody from Maryland comes in and, has a magazine that might be 11 rounds. Will they get in trouble? Probably not, because they're an agency. All right, we're moving on to page 2. Page 2. All right, page 2 is up. Let me click it up for you. As my mother-in-law would say. All right, next up. Disqualifications for a concealed handgun permit. The following person shall be deemed disqualified for obtaining a permit. Individual who is ineligible to possess a firearm, blah, blah, blah. So we have concealed weapons permits here. The reciprocity from all other states, basically, that are equal to Virginia's laws currently. I think the reciprocity is like pretty hardcore. It's not like California, New York, Massachusetts, places like that, but it's good. Number 7, an individual who has been convicted of 2 or more misdemeanors within the 5-year period immediately preceding the application. If one of the misdemeanor was a Class 1 misdemeanor, but the judge shall have the discretion to deny a permit for 2 or more misdemeanors that are not Class 1. This kind of is already in effect here in Virginia anyways. You fill out your concealed weapons permit, you send it up to the court. The court does a background investigation. Most of the time, if you have 2 or more misdemeanors within 5 years, they do deny you, depending on what the misdemeanor is. Of course, the judge is able to do whatever the fuck he wants to. So if you're friends with him, you get a concealed weapons permit, even if you have, 27 misdemeanors, Class 1 or whatever. It's just how it works here in America. And most of those people that are actually issuing them are not real judges. Pretty cool, huh? All right, where are we at? Right here? Nope. Right here? Yep, nope. Right here? Nope. Why are we not popping up? Technical difficulties, guys. Sorry. We got technical difficulties on page 3. All right, so that's explore. Why is it not popping up? Why is it not popping up? Technical difficulties over here. Oh shit, because it says we have nothing to preview. Okay, hold on. Let's preview something then. Sorry, it's from a zip document. There's a couple pages. We're on page 3, right? Yeah. Alright. Got it there. Sorry, guys. Stay with me. Stay with me. Fuck. Why is this not happening? There we go. Hey, Nazi. Yahtzee. I said Nazi. All right. Because we're reading about Nazi propaganda right here. Like, I hate to say this, but first thing they're going to do is strip you of your weapons. That's all. Luckily, it's going to be godfathered in, so those of us that have plenty of ARs are going to be okay. What I fear is those that want to protect themselves, yet they can't because they didn't get guns in the time that they can. 10-round mags, like, I have a weird outlook on those. We'll talk about that later. All right. Purchase, possession, or transportation of firearm following conviction of... Listen, dude. Don't fuck up and get convicted of shit. That's about it. Prohibiting the selling, etc. of firearms to certain persons. This is all just regular shit. They kind of cover all this regularly. Criminal history, like if you have an assault, if you have domestic abuse, if you are doing shit like that, if you have a stalking charge, harassment charge, any type, right, Bobby? Any type of those charges per already the federal documents that you're filling out when you buy a gun, you're already going to not be able to buy that firearm. Down here it says 155 to 157. So stating that intent to sell, blah, blah, blah. So basically straw purchasing. He was talking about that. So 3 of 11 is whatever. All right, we're going to page 4. Page 4, baby. Page 4. We are so fucked in Virginia. Like, I really don't think people understand how fucked we are in Virginia. I knew this as soon as they voted him in. Like, I work in a very liberal field. I saw this writing on the wall. I saw how upset people were about Trump and, you know, me included, upset about Trump. I saw it on the wall. I knew this was happening. It blew my mind that Barack Obama came here with the NAACP to support and tell his sheeple to vote for the white, blonde, Jewish bitch who was an ex-CIA spy instead of the black veteran. I thought that was insane because all he cares about is race and dating men. But down here, it is talking about, as dealers, are they allowed to trade, sell, pre-ban shit that has nothing to do with us, guys? This is 100% FFLs, SOTs, stuff like that. What are they going to get in trouble for? Which is probably going to be a lot. In addition, no dealer shall sell, rent, trade, or transfer from his inventory an assault firearm. Now, the biggest thing about, all of this is assault firearm can mean whatever the fuck you want it to. And the reason I say that is because it is a verb. It's not even a fucking, like, they're attaching this word to a gun that does not make sense. It is not a full auto select fire high capacity firearm. It is a high capacity semi-auto firearm. Sorry, I'm getting Italian, so I'm moving the camera while I'm slamming my hand down as a judge. Regardless, so basically your favorite gun stores, if you go in there to go shoot, cannot allow you to shoot guns, rent guns, whatever, sell guns that are considered their assault rifle. And in that is basically every AR-15 period. That's what they're going for, is they're trying to ban the AR-15 platform. I don't know why they don't just say, hey, we're banning the AR-15 as opposed to assault rifle, but that's Democrats. They like to play with words and water down everything so that nothing makes sense and everything strikes fear in people that are retarded. Sorry, as if you can't tell, I'm super fucking pissed. Like, this is very, very upsetting for the state of Virginia. We are overnight, July 1st, 2026, going to become California Junior. That's what we are going to be. East Coast California, basically. Center fire rifle or pistol that expels single or multiple projectiles. So they added that word single in there to make it so that it's semi-automatic as well. So they completely reconstructed the word assault rifle to make it include a single-fired or multi-fire projectile. By action of an explosion of a combustible material and is equipped at the time of the offense with a magazine that will hold more than 20 rounds of ammunition. So now we're going 20. Or is designed by the manufacturer to accommodate a silencer or is equipped with a folding stock to any person who is not a citizen of the United States or who is not a person lawfully admitted for permanent residence. All right, so that's cool. Great. So no illegal immigrants are allowed to have these. Dope. Cool. So are dealers allowed to trade, blah, 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 lines 2 and 1, blah, blah, blah. What about pink card non-citizens with hunting permits and embassy letters? I don't give a fuck about you. How about that? Spanberger will, because she wants this to be a sanctuary state as well, because she's a fucking horrible human being. She's a piece of shit. God, I hate her. I'm sorry, I don't hate anybody. I dislike what she is doing to my home state. I dislike that she's a CIA spook. I dislike that she is everything that she embodies. All right, any dealer who willfully and intentionally requests, obtains, or seeks to obtain criminal history record, blah, 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 guilty of class 2 misdemeanor. Cool, dude. All right. Assault firearm. Here we go. So assault firearm. What are we designating an assault firearm? A semi-automatic center-fired rifle or pistol that expels single or multiple projectiles by action of an explosion of a combustible material. So they are actually canceling out all of that bullshit. Now they're saying, so back before they said 20 rounds. Now they're saying with a fixed magazine capacity in excess of 10 rounds. So page 4 was 20 rounds. Page 5 is now 10 rounds. A semi-automatic center-fire rifle expels single or multiple blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so basically they're saying that if you can attach a suppressor, if you can attach a magazine and a folding telescoping a pistol grip, blah, blah, blah. So they're just basically saying an AR-15. Like, I don't know why they don't just come out and say if it's an Armalite rifle. Oh, we're continuing it. Hand grip, blah, blah, blah. Sound suppressor, blah, blah, blah. Flash suppressor, too. Wow, okay. A muzzle brake as well. So if it has a muzzle brake, if it has a foldable, collapsible stock, if it has all that shit. Wow, they're just expanding this definition like crazy. The more you read shit like this, the more it should infuriate you. Because all it is just legal bullshit jargon that is being snuck in to define certain things that covers their agenda. You know, they're really giving life to an inanimate object and giving it power by saying that it is dangerous. You know, there's a lot of shit in this world that's dangerous. Unfortunately, most of it is people. And for me, and what I'm trying to say about this stream is the biggest thing that I see is the people that are the most dangerous are within our government. Like, that's what's happening. We're electing these fucking snobs who don't live normal lifestyles, that are not normal people. And I say normal because they are not the collective. They are not the majority at all. They are very much a minority, and people are literally dying now to go off and finger bang themselves because they did a great job voting for who Obama told me to vote for, or voting to do this or that because my buddy here said so. You don't fucking know these people. These people don't give a shit about you. They don't care about your well-being, yet you're sitting there doing all of their fucking dirty work. Like, that's basically what's happening. Basically all of this shit is bullshit. It's talking about, basically this is telling you what's going to happen if you do bad stuff. Like, that's all that is. Don't sell this, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. Now we're talking about antiques, criminal background check required. We already know that. They do want to start issuing licenses to buy and sell guns too, which is fucking wild. The next page, 9, is going to be all about another page about what you shall not do. Okay, now we're getting good. Now I'm going to bring this one up. All right, this one coming up is going to be talking about defined for money, goods, services, blah. Under 18, we already know that. All right, and then right here is the subsection where it's super important and people really need to understand that everything pre-July 2026 is okay, according to this document on HB 217. Everything before, if it is manufactured before July 2026, it is being godfathered in. Sorry, I just ate a toaster strudel. So I'm going to read this verbatim. As used in this section, a large capacity ammunition feeding device means a magazine, belt, drum, feed strip, or similar device manufactured on or after July 1st, 2026 that has a capacity or that can be readily restored or converted to accept more than 10 rounds, guys. 10 rounds. That means sidecar holsters shall be never infringed upon. That's about all we're going to have in Virginia, dude. Don't take my sidecar holster. God, we're cooked. But does not include an attached tubular device designed to accept and capable of operating with only .22 caliber rimfire ammunition. So that's fucking weird. That's like super weird. Because technically, a .556 magazine is .22 caliber, but it's not tubular. Any person who imports, sells, barters, or transfers a large capacity ammunition feeding device is guilty of a Class 1 misdemeanor. So these charges will be Class 1 misdemeanors. The provisions of this section shall not apply to the manufacture of a large capacity ammunition feeding device by transfer of or a large... Okay, so this is basically saying that if you make this shit and... Yeah, if you make this shit, or if you're a law enforcement officer, this is not transferred to you. So, oh, and guess what? Here we go. Last one, 611 to 612. For purposes of law enforcement or possession of a large capacity ammunition feeding device by an individual who is retired from service with a law enforcement agency and is not authorized or otherwise prohibited from receiving ammunition transferred to the individual by the law enforcement agency upon his retirement. So guess what? If you serve your career in law enforcement, stealing the freedom of individuals who just want to play with guns, at the end of your career, your law enforcement agency is able to transfer you all the high capacity magazines, the SBRs, the assault rifles, that your little heart desires. So while you are arresting people for Class 1 misdemeanors, you're not going to be at all exposed to any of that, you know? That's how you could tell this is bullshit. Straight up bullshit. That it's constantly this verbiage of rules for thee and not for us. Us meaning military, law enforcement, government officials. I'm surprised there's not anything in here that says any sitting congressman, any appointed House member can utilize magazines over 20, over 100, you know? Because that's what they do, is they sneak this bullshit in that's like, I want to protect myself, but I want you to not be able to protect yourself against the criminals that don't give a fuck about HB 217, that only care about the preservation and survival of themselves moment by moment out of every 24 hours. Awesome. I love this shit, you know? Virginia at its finest right here. If any firearm, stun weapon is... Oh, so they're saying stun weapon too. All right, so here's the biggest thing that I'm seeing that we're going to get another bill snuck in very quickly is here at 616, starting on page 10 and then going into 11. If any firearm, stun weapon as defined by blah, 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 weapon magazine, and auto sear or trigger activator. Trigger activator. So basically what this is saying is that they're going to enact another bill soon that is going to kill forced reset triggers. It's going to destroy it, here in Virginia at least. I know the loophole in Virginia is very, 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 very small, but there is a loophole in Virginia that states that the FRT is not an auto-seer. Therefore, the way it is said in the law on the books currently, you can have a forced reset trigger in Virginia. It is very gray and it's open for interpretation because the wording is what you have to interpret in order to understand whether or not FRTs are legal. But currently, they are legal in Virginia. That is until they sneak something in, because this verbiage is specifically stating that they will have something about trigger activators. Chicago's already done it. The Glock V came out because Governor Newsom wanted to crack down on Glocks. He's got a horrible problem over there. He won't admit it, but he's admitting it by outlawing Glocks. So that's basically the fucking law that's going to be voted on soon. HB 217 is basically your very, 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 very vague assault weapons ban. So 10 rounds or less in magazines, unless you bought it pre-July 2026. No more ARs. So we're looking at pump action. We're looking at bolt action. But none of this gas-operated bullshit. So everything that's on this wall right here behind me will be illegal to purchase after July 2026. The suppressor bill, I don't understand what the fuck they're trying to do with that. You got some retard bitch that doesn't shoot guns very often. She wanted to put a segment up how she shoots a pistol every once in a while for quals at the CIA and FBI. I think she's a vile pile of trash. I think the Attorney General is a vile piece of shit. No, the Lieutenant Governor. Because my man wants to be all against gun violence, but yet threaten gun violence to children and his opponents. I just think what I really truly think is Monday, January 19th, anybody that is opposed to this type of stuff and lives in the Virginia vicinity, please meet up at the Richmond Capitol on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We're having I think it's VCDL is putting on basically a meet and greet with legislators in Virginia. I think it would behoove you to go. I'm going. I will be there. I will be bringing as much light to this as possible, because the only way we could stifle out fascism and bullshit such as this, which is stripping of our constitutional rights for a lot, is by having our voices heard. And this is going to be, I'm definitely pissed. I'm fucking furious, They're trying a lot of stuff here in Virginia. I've heard rumblings about ammunition taxes that are absolutely astronomical, which will fuck me specifically because I buy a shitload of ammo, It's going to hurt you guys because they already tried to limit us from training, calling it militia activity. Fucking Virginia sucks right now. And it sucks because this is a beautiful state ruled by a beltway and some retards in fucking Richmond who go to VCU. I won't say anything about my work activities, but I see it a lot at work. I see there's a lot of bullshit going on. It sucks, man. This one hurts. I didn't want to make this video for a long time because I guess if you're detached from it and you kind of disassociate from the situation, which a lot of people did, uh, especially during the election. I feel like a lot of Republicans disassociated, didn't go out and vote, and here we are. We have 4 years of this. Luckily, you can't get a re-election. Like they were a Commonwealth state, which is weird. But yeah, dude, how the fuck is this happening to a state like Virginia? Well, Beltway and Republicans not voting. I think a lot of people are fucking tired of Trump too, here in Virginia. I know a lot of us voted for Trump, me included, because we thought he was going to be arresting fucking politicians. We thought people were going to be held accountable. Unfortunately, they weren't. And I hate to say this, but there's a huge liberal crowd in Virginia that just exists in the cities that they should in order for an election to happen in a democratic way. Not democratic, but in order to... My dog is like licking his dick right now, so I apologize. Here, hold on. Bubby. Be a good boy. I was gonna put him in on the mic. Because that's how I feel about, Spamberger. But this is definitely something that happened. Turns out the biggest guy in the files. So, I mean, the Epstein bullshit, like, I get it. Like, I want to see it released as well. I do think that Trump is very hesitant to release it because of how much his name is in there. But I also did see that they were friends at first, and then something happened where... I'm speculating. I don't give a fuck about these people. Like, please understand, I don't care about any fucking politician. What I care about, because in my mind, is every politician is corrupt. At some point, I thought Dan Crenshaw was going to be good. Turns out he's like one of the most corrupt Republicans there is. His insider trading is absolutely incredibly blatant. Just like Nancy Pelosi's, just like, Chuck Schumer, all this shit. There's a reason why they're behind Maduro. It's so wild to see, like, the fact that if you put Trump's name in any of this bullshit, like, and mind you, once again, I want to reiterate this, I am not MAGA at all. I don't wear a team jersey that says Trump on the back, that's just not me. I would never fucking do that. I don't like politicians. They're not good people. I've toyed with the idea of getting into politics only because I'm the type of person that wants justice for the little guy, and I feel like the little guy is growing exponentially within society, and the little guys are you and I, all the way up to what used to be the middle class. Now it's not. You have to earn $250,000 a year to be in the middle class, which is fucking crazy because that's how much my first house was. It was $250,000 when I was in middle school. My mom, we were middle class people. I grew up very, very happy. I grew up in a good time. Anti-Trump and Obama rhetoric turned our country into middle schools. Dude, I agree a fucking 100%. The reason why I say that, and I'm so glad you brought that up, is it has no longer became a who is best for this position of power. Like the absolute most position of power that the history of the world has ever seen. A military that, in my eyes, is capable of taking over the entire world within a week, as long as nuclear weapons are off the table. We have the ability to literally rule and dominate the world. That's what it is. Our military is fucking stout compared to others. But with that being said, it's become this bullshit that's like the class president. Who's the hottest dude? Who's the hottest chick? Who's the most popular dude? Who's the most popular chick? That's how we're voting now. And I think that's from the dumbing down of society by turning it into a fucking reality TV show. You know, you got people on Kick that are constantly POVing everything that goes on in their life. Then you have kids that are aspiring to do so. You have kids that are looking up to degeneracy. Like one of the most popular people in America currently, the most popular family is a family that is the mom pimped out the daughter to a rapper, made a video, then remade the video, then put the video out on purpose of her daughter doing bedroom activity and putting it out there for the world to see, and that's how that bitch blew up. So essentially, the family that is the most popular family in America, you can go up to any 5-year-old, 10-year-old, whatever, and ask them who the family is, and they'll know exactly who they are. They'll be like, the Kardashians. But then you show them a picture of Tesla or fucking, Benjamin Franklin or George Washington or somebody of that stature, and they're not going to know who they are. They'll know who the fucking Kardashians are. A mom that pimped out her family, that whored out her daughters in order to achieve fame and success. That's awesome, dude. But I do agree with you. I'm sorry, I'm going out. I'm so fucking furious. Like, I'm so mad about this shit. And Virginia is 100% becoming California Junior overnight in July. So what does this mean for us? A lot of tips. Really quick, I've ordered lower receivers like crazy. Like, I ordered 5 of them yesterday. All of them from Griffin Armament. I love you, Griffin Armament. Shout out Mark II, lower receiver, the best lower receiver ever, period, for the money at least. Order lower receivers. Order mags. A fuck ton of them. Glock mags, AR-15 mags, 2011 mags, and whatever weapon system you run. If you run Echelon, if you run whatever, buy those mags up as much as possible. That's what it means for us. That means we have to spend our money between now and June in order to be able to live like we did last year. You know, I never thought I'd miss Youngkin, but I already do. This is HB 217. I don't even know who the fuck proposed this. You know, I know a lot of this shit goes across the governor's desk, and a lot of this shit was vetoed, the last 4 years. I'm very upset that he's not allowed to run for re-election. I mean, what was the surplus? Let me look this up. I'm pretty sure the surplus was in the billions. Because, I know, Governor Youngkin, $572 million. $2.1 billion. This man had a surplus of $2.1 billion. That's probably all from Chippenham tolls. Because if you throw in money, it doesn't count it properly, and you got to throw in more. So I'm pretty sure 1 quarter at a time is contributing to that. But regardless, $2.1 billion surplus in this state alone. When Medicaid was cut, when food stamps were cut, guess what we were able to do? Hey, federal government, we don't need any money. We got a surplus. We're going to be paying our citizens with our state surplus. First thing the Democrats are going to do, let's give this to this NGO, this NGO, this NGO, this NGO, this NGO. And before you know it, we're going to be negative $7.2 billion. Guarantee you. Mark my words. This time in 4 years, come back to this video. Let's see how much in debt we are in Virginia. Because that's what Democrats do, is they line their pockets. They fucking allow everybody around them to be rich. They trust everybody. They trust every fucking NGO out there to pad their own pockets and shit. I'm just so frustrated. That goes for Republicans too. Fuck, we are fucked. Guys, I didn't want to do this live. I really didn't. I wanted to play video games. I literally slept today away. I stayed up until 5 a.m. studying. And I thought I was going to do this yesterday, but I don't know. This is a wake-up call. Vote every fucking election. Vote. Like your life and your lifestyle depend on it. Start being smarter at the polls. Fuck, we're fucked. All right, guys, I am going to be at the, I forgot what it's called. It's the VCDL, Virginia Citizens Defense League. Super awesome people over there. Hopefully I'm going to have a couple of them on in order for us to talk outside of this event. But I am going to be bringing live stream to the event. Maybe live stream, maybe not. But it is going to be a video. So it's Lobby Day 2026. 119 at 12 a.m. is when it starts. Do it every year. But we're all meeting at the, whatchamacallit? Lobby Day. Lobby Day. Oh, they have a lobby dinner? Golden Corral Buffet on Gaskins Road? What? I haven't been to Golden Corral ever. Why would I want to eat there? All right. But yeah. Going to the Capitol. January 19th. It is supposed to be a peaceful projection of power. Please understand that. Do not come ready to fight. This is not a looting bullshit. This is not a place for discourse. This is a place for conversation and projection of power. I am going to be there interviewing people, bringing light to the situation, bringing voice to the situation, and I think you guys should start. If you don't have a YouTube channel, start one. Get your opinion out there, because guess what? The left is doing it. That's all we hear. Make your voice known too. I didn't do it for the longest time. I was a liberal for a long time, and I was able to say everything I wanted to. It wasn't until I started being viewed as conservative that I had to stop talking as much. It's fucking weird, right? You know, I work for a company where every election, if a Republican wins, we get an email stating that we should not talk about elections. Guess what I don't get if a Democrat wins? An email talking about how we should not talk about it. You know, liberals are able to talk about whatever they want at my job with impunity. I say something, it hurts somebody's feelings. I go to HR. It's happened before. Twice. It's bullshit. Guys, please vote. Please do not allow your state to become like Virginia, because we are fucked. Fucked. Mark my words. Fucked. And this is why I'm probably going to get into politics. You know. Learn, train, and evolve. But above all, God bless. GHIJKL. Thank you for talking. God, this sucks.